Okay, so today we are going to be like really diving into something that I think is super interesting, at least to me,
Mhm.
Galentine's Day.
Yes.
And I feel like I have a vague understanding of it. I mean, I know it's about celebrating your female friendships,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but we wanted to go a little deeper today, go beyond the brunch photos and, the cute Instagram
Yeah,
captions,
absolutely.
and really figure out, like, where did this whole thing even come from? What are the
Yeah.
roots of it? And why is it, like, resonating so much with people right now?
Right. Well, I think it's really fascinating how this holiday, which is essentially a fictional holiday, like it started on a TV show,
Yeah,
has really taken root in popular culture. And I think it speaks to like a very real desire
totally.
to acknowledge and kind of honor these bonds between women.
Absolutely. And it all started with, as I'm sure many of our listeners already know, because we are all obsessed with this show,
Yeah.
Parks and Recreation,
Yes.
specifically the Leslie Knope approved Galentine's Day,
Of course.
which, side note, I love how extra Leslie Knope is about pretty much everything,
Yes.
but especially her friends.
Oh, 100%.
It's like the ultimate.
And I think that's part of what makes it work, you know?
Yes.
Like, it's more than just that she loves waffles and loves giving gifts, which she does and excels at both.
The best.
But I think the show's creators really tapped into something
Yes.
about, especially like women's friendships and kind of how they've evolved even.
Totally. And it's funny because, like, it wasn't even that deep,
Right.
It was a sitcom. Like, they weren't trying to make a statement, but it sparked this whole thing
Totally.
about how we think about female friendships.
I think the reason it resonated so much is because it shows female friendship in like such a multifaceted way.
Yes.
Like these women are supporting each other's ambitions, they are celebrating each other's wins,
Yeah.
but they're also not afraid to like call each other out and be there for like the tough stuff.
Yes.
And it feels very real and relatable.
Yeah, and I think that's such a good point to make because it's not about pretending.
Right.
Like, female friendships are always easy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, perfect.
It's
you know,
not like some perfect ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing, like, the very unique strength and support that I think comes from having women in your corner,
Yes.
through thick and thin.
Yeah. 100%. And I also think that's why the timing of it is so clever.
Yes.
Right before Valentine's Day.
Tell me more.
It's like this reminder to celebrate those bonds as like equally important as romantic relationships
100%.
without like negating either one.
Yes. It's like Leslie Knope saying you need strong women in your life, but you also deserve someone who will be ridiculously excited that you ate the last waffle.
Exactly.
Like, it's not a competition.
Yeah, it's not this or that. It can be both.
It's both.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, all this talk about waffles is making me want a waffle.
Right. Those waffles did sound pretty good.
Okay, someone get us a waffle spread in here, stat.
Please.
But jokes aside, one thing that we noticed going through like all the different articles and stuff is that like everybody kind of agrees that there's like a much deeper meaning to Galentine's Day
Oh, absolutely.
than just the brunch parties, which, don't get me wrong, I love.
Of course, who doesn't love brunch?
But it's more than that.
But it's so much more than that. I
Yeah.
think it's really about recognizing the incredible impact that those friendships have on our lives.
Totally.
Like for our well-being, our sense of self, our careers, even.
I love that. And I think it's so important, like, especially in a world that often feels like it's trying to pit women against each other.
Totally.
It's like celebrating
Right.
collaboration and mutual support.
Yes. And there's actually one of the articles I read cited some research showing that like having those strong female friendships is linked to lower stress levels,
Yeah, get out here.
increased happiness,
Wow.
and even a longer lifespan.
Okay, I'm sold.
Right.
Sign me up for the lifetime membership to the Galentine's Day Club.
Like, it's not just like, this feels good. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually like good for you.
It's science. I love it.
It's true. It's like, when you have those friends, it's
Ugh.
like a built-in support system that just
great.
like gets it,
100%.
But I think there's another layer to this whole Galentine's Day thing that I think is really interesting.
Okay.
Which is, it's not just about celebrating the bonds themselves.
Yeah.
It's also about what those bonds like inspire in us
Okay.
individually.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So like,
Is this about like the self-love aspect of it?
yes,
And-
exactly. Because, a lot of the articles talked about that. And it makes sense, right? Like when we surround ourselves with these like strong, supportive women,
Yeah.
it can really like boost our own confidence
Yeah, so-
and help us recognize our own worth.
Oh, it's like that Maya Angelou quote, and probably going to butcher this, but she's like,
Hmm.
I am a woman phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me.
Yes.
Like, sometimes you just need to be surrounded by other amazing women to remind you
Exactly.
that you're also
Exactly.
phenomenal and
Yeah.
amazing. And
And I think that's something that, the
yeah,
articles pointed out that like Galentine's Day can be a time to actually like practice that self-love.
yeah, yeah.
Even if you're like not in a romantic relationship or like, if you don't have like this huge group of friends, it's like you can still celebrate like your own
Yes.
journey, your accomplishments.
So for somebody who's listening to this and they're like, okay, yes, I want to incorporate more of that, not just on Valentine's Day, but like
Yeah.
in my everyday life, like how do you actually do that?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Because I think we could all use a little bit more self-love.
100%.
Let's be honest.
So one of the things that I saw
Yeah.
was like this idea of using like empowering affirmations.
Oh, yeah.
And, they even gave like some examples like,
Yeah.
I am worthy of love and support.
Oh, I love that.
Or like, I am capable of achieving my dreams.
Yeah.
So it's like really consciously shifting like that inner dialogue
Yeah.
to be more positive and supportive.
It's so simple, but I feel like we don't do it enough.
Right.
It's like those little reminders, but if you do them consistently enough,
Yeah.
it's like that whole thing, like a small act of kindness
Yeah.
can change somebody's whole day.
Yes. Exactly.
That's small little things, but you got to do them.
It's those small but consistent actions.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be like this big complicated thing,
Yes.
Like maybe you like treat yourself to something you love
Yeah.
or, just spend like an evening doing something just for you.
Oh,
Or even like, I don't know, just taking a few minutes to like write down your strengths,
Yeah.
or your accomplishments, like things you're proud of.
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like giving yourself the same kind of love and attention that
Exactly.
you would give to a close friend or that you
Yes.
would want a close friend to give to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
And speaking of friends,
Okay.
the articles also had some like really great advice, I thought,
Yeah.
for like how do we nurture these relationships,
Totally.
all year round.
Yeah.
Not just like
It's not a one-day thing.
not just on Galentine's Day.
Exactly, because as much as I love like a good brunch-themed celebration,
Of course.
I think we can all agree, like maintaining friendships takes a little more
Yes, 100%.
effort than that.
It's a practice, not like a
Yeah.
one-time thing.
Okay, so what are some of those like friendship strengthening like
Yeah.
habits
Yeah.
that we can all like adopt into our repertoire?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm always down to level up on the
Yeah.
friend game.
Yes.
Well, I think one of the simplest but like most impactful things
Yeah.
is just like showing up consistently.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily mean like physically being there all the time,
Yeah.
although that's great too.
Right.
But it's more about like those small, like regular gestures
Okay.
that show your friends like, hey, I'm thinking about you.
Okay, so give me some like specifics.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? Like carrier pigeons?
Yeah, what does that look like?
A single daisy delivered to your door? I don't know.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I mean, that's a great visual,
Yeah.
but I would say like even just a text message,
Okay.
like, how are you doing? Or
Yeah.
like thinking of you
Yeah,
can go a long way.
totally.
Or even better, like a voice memo.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know. There's just something about hearing a friend's voice
It's more
that feels very like
Yeah.
personal and meaningful.
Look like a little auditory hug.
Exactly. And then like beyond kind of like those check-ins, like
Yeah.
when you are together,
Yeah.
like really being present.
Yes.
Like put the phones down and like really listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
Offer genuine like support and encouragement.
It's about being so present in like the big moments and like
Yes.
the little ones.
The little tiny moments.
And it makes me think about something I read in one of these articles, which was like
Yeah.
talking about how important it is to like celebrate each other's wins,
Yes.
no matter how small they are.
Absolutely.
Like celebrating the little things.
Yeah. Yes, because those like milestones, big or small, I think are such a good way to like
Yes.
strengthen those bonds.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, being there to offer support during like
Yeah.
the challenging times is
Yeah.
equally as important.
Yeah, because it's not always about like
Right.
having the answers
Yeah,
or
yeah.
fixing their problem.
It's not about fixing it.
It's just about
Yeah.
like being a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah. Being a shoulder to cry on, being a listening ear,
Yeah, exactly.
Like creating that space for them to like
Yeah,
be their full selves
100%.
without judgment.
And knowing that they would do the same for you.
Yes, exactly.
Like this, like, give and take.
It's like you're building this network of like support and love, and
Yeah.
that's huge.
Which is something worth celebrating, like not just on Galentine's Day, but like
Every day.
literally every day.
Yeah.
And I think that,
Yeah.
it's so interesting. It's kind of coming back to like the beginning of this conversation.
Yeah.
Like this thing started as like
Yeah.
a fictional holiday,
Right.
but it sparked this very real
Very real, very important
conversation
things, yeah.
about like how important this is.
Totally.
And especially in a world that like oftentimes feels really divided, like
Yes.
celebrating those bonds
Yes.
feels more important than ever.
It does. And I think that's a beautiful note to end on.
Yeah.
You know, just like celebrate your friendships, lift each other up, and never forget the power of like
Yes.
women supporting women.
I love that.